What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Unscripted here live, of course, on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm going to be your host and producer for the show, Logan Landers. Join me today. Talk a little Stanley Cup Game 7 action, doing a little bit of a recap of the series. My guy, Jay McLovin. Jay, how you doing, my friend?
Man, I am doing well. Obviously, if you watched that game last night, Logan, you know it was kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah, and we'll get into it in just a minute. Final Game 7, as we know, Florida Panthers took home the chip first time in their franchise history. But hey guys, if you enjoyed the episode, like, follow, share, and subscribe on the following social media channels you see here: Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch as well. We're also over on LinkedIn. Go connect with us over there. And we do have a code. If you guys watched our last video, you can get 10% off of all W Energy products you see on the screen here, plus all of some other ones as well. As you see, they've got the Jitterless Energy Blend, the Dragon Aid. They've got some shakers as well. They've got merchandise. They've got t-shirts. They've got some tremendous drinks as well, both with and without caffeine. I'm personally liking the Beach and Peach they've got, good for the summer. Like I mentioned, you see the Jitterade up on the screen there, or Dragonade right there. They've got Cali O Cream, Push and Punch, and so many others. And you guys can get 10% off, as you see on the screen there, if you use promo code ESEN at checkout, and it'll also help us out as well. Once again, it's in the link in our description. So go down there and get yourself a nice tub and keep you woke up and alert during this summer period. It's hot out there. You need something to stay awake and to get you through the day. And like Jay said, let's go ahead and get into it. Panthers, Florida Panthers, Jay, they won their first ever Stanley Cup. Final score last night, 2-1 in Game 7. And I will say, the game maybe wasn't as thrilling as somebody hoped, but I mean, because there was no scoring in the final period. Florida took the lead in the second period. But to me, Edmonton, just the journey for them to get to Game 7 was insane enough. I mean, they were down 3-0, Jay. This series should have been over last week. And I don't know what happened, but Edmonton got on a roll. They won 3 straight, and they took it back home to Florida in Game 7. And let's not forget this, Jay. Connor McDavid became the 6th player in NHL history to win the Conn Smythe Award, which, for y'all who don't know, is basically the postseason MVP award in hockey. He won that award, Jay, on the losing team, the 6th time that's ever happened. Did Connor McDavid. That just lets you know how good that guy is and was this past playoffs. But Jay, just give your thoughts on the series. Obviously, a lot of people thought it was done for after 3. Edmonton battled back, but unfortunately, their luck ran out last night in Florida. What were your thoughts on the series overall? And just as the Panthers winning their first ever championship.
Yeah, in all honesty, Florida almost dropped the bag on that. In the NBA, I think the record is now 1-0-157 when trailing by 3. And here, you got trailing by 3. And the last team that actually did do that in hockey was the Detroit Red Wings, and they did it in 1942. So that tells you how long it's been. Number one, since an 0-3 team has won, and number 2 that an 0-3 team actually won. And number 3 really, I guess, would be that this is the first title that Florida has won in its 30-year existence. And I think this is the 3rd time, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Edmonton has been to the Cup Series. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's – yeah. So, and of course, they did win in games 4, 5, and 6. The Edmonton Oilers did, but it just wasn't enough to overcome that 4-1, or excuse me, that 2-1 drumming that they took to ultimately win the series at 4-1. Like you said, Bob Brodsky, 23 saves. Probably really, in all honesty, I think the goalie MVP should have the MVP in this one because it really was the decision maker. Obviously, in her first 3 games, Edmonton couldn't get their goalie to do a damn thing. And then, of course, the last 3 that he did wake up after something. So, it is what it is, Logan, at the end of the day. Is Florida back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, for the love of God, somebody made a shot. and then you had to wonder when the next shot was going to come. It just took a really long time to get these games going, and thank God for Florida that they were able to stop the bleeding at 3 goals. Because if they got to that 4th goal, it would have been game over.
Yeah, and once again, man, just shout out to the Panthers, first time in their franchise history. And, also too, Jay, Canada, where everyone says that hockey is king. They have not won a championship. Just Canada in general have not won a Stanley Cup in over 30 years now.
Yeah.
This was their best shot. They had a good shot to win it, but they couldn't pull it off, man. So their their whole streak continues for all the teams up there. And Florida.
Canada.
I know. Where's the next Stanley Cup? What year? Yeah, it's going to be 20 and then some question marks because they're still waiting. But but Florida got it done, man. They got it done. Sam Reinhart scored the goal in the second period to kind of cap things off. And then, as you mentioned, man, third period was just all defense. It was just, if for Florida, just keep the puck away from the net. And for Edmonton, obviously, it was a full-out blitz. They were going to do their best to get in there and to try and even things up. But like you mentioned, Bobrovsky, the goalie who had struggled the last couple of games, really just looked unreal of him. I mean, because let's not forget, before that, when they were up 3-0, everyone was saying he should have won the Conn Smythe, and he should, have all these accolades and is being regarded as, the best goalie in the league and whatnot. And then you saw those 3 games after, he just kind of fell apart. Really, and I'm not putting it on all just him. It's really the whole team. They just looked out of it for whatever reason. But that don't matter, Jay, because when it was all said and done, Florida Panthers were raising that Stanley Cup, going around the rink, and showing it to all their home fans. So good time for them. And
the Southern states would have a hockey championship.
I know, yeah. God, I know. Who would have thought?
Jeez, man. Canada, you're really letting us down, man. I mean, really, what is Canada really known for? I mean, when you take away their hockey, what do they really have? They really don't have anything left.
They got the Raptors championship cup about, 5-6 years ago. They got that. That's about it.
I mean,
in terms of accolades.
Canada, you just ride it. Canada is like you get those 3 kids at the playground. You got the mean kid, the good kid, and the kid that nobody really gave a damn about.
Which one?
That's just kind of how I felt about Canada. Canada was just that little kid that just kind of sit off in the corner and didn't really do much. That's it. Oh, Canada.
Maybe they'll break their streak next year.
Like if they were a shoe, they'd be a special orthopedic shoe.
Yeah.
Like you get the Canada 1355 over there, young buck. That's what you qualify for.
Well, maybe they can go and get some Tim Hortons and soak in their loss. Meanwhile, Florida Panthers are drinking Starbucks or Dunkin' and enjoying some American grade coffee while they're waking up from their hangovers this morning. But once again, shout out to the Florida Panthers winning their first ever Stanley Cup. Well deserved. Can't believe they got to Game 7. Shouldn't have been to Game 7, but in the end, they got it done. They did not get the reverse sweep, and they can now call themselves Stanley Cup champions for 2023 and 2024. And we'll see what happens this next year, Jay. We already know the offseason's going on in hockey, and it's going to be interesting to see what all happens. Of course, we know we have the Utah Hockey Club coming into the league, so that's going to be interesting to see with the draft coming up here very shortly. So it's going to be fun. And, of course, you guys know we're going to be covering all of it here on the network. Once again, Jay McLovin, appreciate you coming on the show and talking a little bit of hockey with me today. Guys, once again, check us out on our social media platforms, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and also on YouTube right there. And also LinkTree or LinkedIn. And you can also use promo code ESEN on w.gg for 10% off your order over there. Once again, for Jay McLovin, I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, we'll talk to you again on another live episode. We'll see you later.